Although the lockdown has been lifted and we all are more or less here in Germany are allowed to travel, I'm still not very comfortable to travel anywhere, which is why I'm currently not properly testing any carry-on friendly bags. However, I have the the updated Heimplanet Travel Pack, and I just wanted to do a little small quick look about that backpack. So, as mentioned, I'm not traveling at the moment and therefore I have not properly tested this bag yet. You can see in the info tab or in the description below my ethics statements and how I review and what's the difference between a review and a quick look. So the Heimplanet Travel Pack, I have checked out this bag, or the first iteration of that bag. I have checked it out in the last year or in the past. You can see that video in the info tab above. Alright, let's go over the Heimplanet travel bag from the Transit line. First and foremost, this bag is made out of so-called Daiko shell. I'm not 100% sure what this material actually is, but it is eco-friendly material that is very soft to the touch. It actually feels a little bit like clothing fabric. However, it feels very confidence inspiring that this is very durable and will hold up quite well over a long period of time, maybe also a whole lifetime. All of the stitching and the material is very well made, like all of the Heimplanet stuff that I have been able to test in the past, and I really like what they're doing with this new kind of material. You have a little bit of reflectivity as far as I can tell on this very small little branding. I like when the branding isn't that much visible, but being a motorcycle rider and a bicycle rider, having some kind of reflectivity on the bag is really good for safety, for being seen on the streets. You have some attachment points over here and on the bottom, and I assume you can attach like outside lashing straps to it. Then you have the compression straps here on the side. Unfortunately, only these flexible strap and organizers. These are okay, they're better than nothing, but I usually prefer something a little bit more refined. So high quality hardware here on the strap, compression straps. You have a water bottle, flexible water bottle compartment on one side. It's just on one side because there is a side handle. I feel like every single carry-on bag needs a side handle because for me as a short person, carrying the bag on the top handle, which both are very comfortable. When I carry a bag with the top handle, usually the carry-on sized bags are too long and I always bump against like stairs or anything like that, and which is then again very annoying. So having a side handle helps a lot to carry the bag around the airport, for instance, or when it's in overhead compartments. Having these two options for a handle, for a grab handle, to get the bag out of the compartment helps a lot. So that is the reason why there is no water bottle on this side. Of course, you could put a water bottle compartment here and move the top handle or the side handle a little bit to the top, but then it would be unbalanced because the handle isn't in the middle of the bag. So continuing with the front and the outside of the bag, we have a quick access compartment here at the top, which for me is really important because I always use these top quick access compartments to store my wallet, my keys, and all of the stuff that are in my pants pockets in this quick access compartment whenever I go through the TSA security check. I don't want to put my valuables in those little plastic boxes whenever I'm being checked at the TSA. Obviously, no one is traveling at the moment, so not that important, but for those occasions, these top compartments, top quick access compartments are great. There's a little loop in here where you could attach with a carabiner your keys, for instance. Then on the side we have another quick access compartment that isn't that big. It goes to here in height and has about this size in the lid. So this is also really great to store stuff quickly in here. Probably during these times, great compartment to store like a hand gel, a disinfectant hand gel and stuff like that into this compartment. Before we go into the first main compartment, let's turn this around, and here we have the very cool looking back panel and the shoulder straps. The shoulder straps aren't that beefy and that padded. Still, they are very soft and feel very comfortable. From my experience with the first generation travel pack, this is very comfortable. It is highly adjustable. You have these load lifters. If you have seen my last week's review about the Axiom 24, I didn't like the strap ends on the load lifters. Here you have some strap and organizers that are fixed, but also only are those spandex kind of organizers, so there is still some strap ends dangling at the end, which can be annoying, but yeah, you could fiddle them through this Hyperlon and keep them in place a little bit better. All of this Hyperlon is so you could either move this sternum strap, which has a magnetic fitlock, really cool, and they are attached with these aluminum hardware which feel incredible. In the past, this sternum strap was very easily to lose because it actually was inversed, so it was stuck in between two of these Hyperlon loops and it could fiddle itself out really quickly. But now they have a little bit more of a refined mechanism where this is basically a C and then you can fiddle it out of this Hyperlon. It's a little bit more secure and you won't lose the sternum straps. Then on the bottom you have a waist belt. This is not a waist belt in terms of getting your load very well onto your hips, but it's rather to have a little bit more support, keep it in place, because this is not padded. This is just some webbing, a strap. Honestly, this is a carry-on bag with a size and a capacity of 28 liters, and I feel like you don't need waist belts on a bag of this capacity because it won't get that heavy. And having more straps on a carry-on bag just make it a little bit more cumbersome whenever you need to put the bag into the overhead compartment or you want to store the bag underneath an airplane seat or something like that. So for carry-on bags around 30 liters, I prefer to have as few of the straps as possible. So I would always detach this, but since it is so lightweight, so small, I would keep it in the backpack itself to whenever I feel like, oh, the bag maybe is a little bit too heavy, I could use this to get a little bit of load off my shoulders onto my hips. But usually I would just detach this and not bother using it. You have a pass-through, so you could put this onto your handles of your rolling luggage. All of the stitching is incredible. Heimplanet's attention to detail with all of the stitching, with all of the materials, all of the design is incredible. If it comes down to design, to how a bag is thought out and made, I think Heimplanet has its design figured out, in my humble opinion at least. So, going back to the front, to the first main compartment. So the zippers, by the way, have these cool little aluminum zipper pulls. Honestly, I feel like these should have the option to have different colors, because also something that I noticed on the Axiom 24 review that I have done last week, sometimes you get confused by which zipper you are actually pulling because there are so many, and having the option maybe to colorize these zipper pulls to make them more easily noticeable between all of the different zippers personally would help me a lot. And I think having like maybe an orange zipper pull would fit pretty nicely to the bag. So this is the main first compartment. It's a half clamshell opening that has lots of capacity to store all of your clothing, all of the items that you need when you're traveling that you not necessarily need to access quickly, like your shoes, dopp kit and packing cubes with clothing. So all of that stuff goes in here because that's basically the lightest item in your backpack. So you put that in here, close that up, and then you have a second compartment, which probably you could call the office compartment of this bag, and that's in here. As you can tell, this is a full clamshell opening with lots of different slots, compartments and organizing panels to be able to have everything at glance whenever you arrive at the office. And because this is close to your bag, all of the weight is perfectly distributed inside the bag, and therefore once you carry it, the most heaviest item, which is your laptop, is right on your bag, and all of your office items like chargers, cables also can be stored in here. The laptop compartment is very well padded. It has a soft inner lining and is suspended. So whenever the laptop is in here, it only goes up to this point and never touches the ground whenever you put the bag on the floor. So these are a couple of more slots. This is probably for an iPad because this is also has a soft inner lining. Here you can put in pens and stuff like that. The beauty of this compartment is that opposed to many other organizing panels, this is a soft, very flexible material. So it will adapt to maybe a thicker item like a charger, or potentially, let's see if a lens fits in here. Yeah, fits as well. That's the beauty of soft, very flexible material like this. On this side you have two zipper pouches that also have this very soft, flexible material. Then, if you are at the hotel and you potentially opened already this bag like this and you don't want to access the other compartment, you could actually open this dividing wall to the other compartment as well. And if you are actually a little bit lazy potentially, and you don't need this, you could actually just roll this up and you have a little pocket in here and store that dividing wall inside and basically have one big main compartment. But that's basically it. That is the travel pack. So not a lot of big changes in terms of compartments, feature sets and stuff like that, but a very refined overhaul of a couple of things like how the stitching is made, more little refinements here and there that aren't that obvious to the regular user, but are very well worth it in my humble opinion. As mentioned in the introduction, this is just a quick look. But what's my, I don't want to call it verdict because I didn't test the bag properly. However, this is an updated version of the old, no it's not old, the first generation Heimplanet Travel Pack. From first impressions, you don't see that many changes in terms of features compared to the first generation. That being said, there are a bunch of changes in terms of how they made it, the quality. I mean, the first generation was already very well built and incredibly well designed and made, but this one is a very refined version of that first generation travel pack. And I think when you are a bag enthusiast, you will actually see all those new changes to the bag itself. If you are, let's say, a casual backpack user, then you obviously won't really notice all of the small little but important and very good changes in how the stitching is, how the material is, and yeah, all those small good changes and refinements. In terms of features, there are a couple of changes that are pretty cool, but They are not groundbreaking in my humble opinion. But what I want to say is, if you already have the first generation version, then there is no reason to buy the second generation. But this bag is incredible. I really like what Heimplanet is always doing with their bags. The Daiko shell, this eco-friendly approach to their materials, how all of the stitchings, how all of the features are well thought out, and what they actually designed and made. So bottom line, if you have the first generation, then there's no need to upgrade to this generation, in my humble opinion. But if you're looking for a very well made and very thought out carry-on friendly backpack, and potentially you are taller than me, I'm only 170 centimeters tall, so any carry-on backpack around 30 liters looks a little bit big on myself for everyday carry use. But if you are taller than I am, then you actually could use this as an everyday carry backpack, especially considering the, let's call it, office area in the back panel with the laptop slot with all those little compartments for hard drive, notebooks, etc. Then this is actually pretty cool for an everyday carry backpack. But yeah, if you're looking for a well-made carry-on backpack that you could maybe use as an everyday carry backpack, then I can highly recommend the Heimplanet Travel Pack of the Transit line. So my question to you is, what's your current carry-on friendly bag, despite the fact that most of us can't travel at the moment? Yeah, let me know in the comment section below, and if you have any more questions, also comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button, and please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell icon so you won't miss the next videos. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sticking around. The short little clip that you have seen is the Funk Street Messenger bag that you can win in a contest on my Patreon. For those of you who don't know, I recently made an ethics statement video in which I explained that I don't do any sponsorships or advertisements beyond the YouTube ads on this channel. And to support this channel, I made this Patreon. On Patreon, you get a couple of benefits. One, you get podcasts where I interview people from the bag world or other people with topics that interest me or you as well, because you can vote on podcast topics. Furthermore, as a benefit, we have a Discord channel plus Discord video meetups every single month, and every 2 or 3 months you can win a bag in a bag contest. So in this month you can win the Funk Street Messenger. So if you want to support this channel, listen to a couple of podcasts, potentially win a bag or join the video meetups, you can check out my Patreon. But obviously do not feel pressured in supporting me that way. That you watch my videos or potentially subscribe to this channel is a lot of support that I'm very thankful for. So yeah, if you want to support me, check out the Patreon. If not, that's totally fine. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you in the next one. Thank you very much.